being a manager over a team, you have to also accept the fact that you are not going to have all the answers, right? And it's okay to acknowledge, I don't know the answer to that. And also acknowledge that there may be somebody that reports to you that knows it. They may have the answers. I always say, hire people on your team that are smarter than you. It makes you a better, leader, because you're getting different ideas and skills and education that you're not aware of. And right. And you can't grow if you don't know. We got to be open to learning. And
welcome to the True Leadership Podcast, where we sit down with executive leaders to explore what leadership really means through the lens of their stories, their wins, their struggles, their vision, and their lessons along the way. I'm Ty Hammond, founder of One Mountain Leadership and creator of the True Leadership Approach, an awareness-based path that helps leaders shift their focus from what to do about their problems to how to grow from them. Whether you're just stepping into leadership or are well-seasoned and at the top of your game, your potential won't be realized following someone else's script, but you can draw insights from their stories and turn it into wisdom by putting it into practice in your own life.
Welcome to the True Leadership Podcast, where we explore the essence of leadership beyond tactics and performance by sitting down with executives to hear what matters most to them. I'm your host, Jessy James, and today's guest is Brittney Bahre. She is a Senior Director of Talent Acquisition at E2 Optics, where she leads high-performing teams responsible for scaling talent while protecting culture. With deep expertise in employment law and organizational development, she partners closely with executive leadership to align compliance, performance, and people strategy. Brittney is known for driving change management, enhancing the employee experience, and building recruitment systems that support rapid growth without sacrificing values. A PHR certified leader and an active member of the OnCon Senior Council, she brings a practical, people-first approach to talent strategy, helping organizations grow responsibly while empowering teams to thrive. Brittney, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
thank you.
Wonderful. Brittney, I'm curious, who is someone from your early life or even an early experience that shaped the kind of leader that you are today?
Yeah. So early in my experience, when I was looking back at it, it actually was more of the negative experience that I was having that really shaped who I wanted to become as a leader, because I was getting an insight to what I didn't want to do as a leader based on how I was being treated by my leaders. So that kind of like started the path. And then once I started working for somebody that I consider a very valuable mentor to me, her name is Erin. She is somebody that once I started working for her, I was like, oh, this is what it means to be a leader. Like, she was just somebody that really it made you feel empowered, gave you autonomy to really like be your own person and conduct your own thing. And she led with such confidence too, which is something I really valued. And she really pushed the envelope with things. And she was a great mentor. She still is a mentor to me now.
And I'm curious, how did Erin or just, your other experiences really inform who you are as a leader and how you lead today?
By taking things that I don't want to be, like, experiencing that was a negative, leadership experience. I definitely don't want to have that as part of my skills. And then taking a look at Erin and seeing the accomplishments that she has been able to do, not only professionally, but then like within the organizations that she's been a part of and the teams that I've been a part of, taking those aspects and starting to apply those to my leadership to belt.
Got it. Thank you. What does true leadership mean to you? What I want to understand is, what from your perspective makes a true leader?
A true leader is somebody that is the example for the people that they're leading, or for even people that they're not leading. Like, if you're in a leadership position, all eyes are looking at you. So I kind of think of it as like the mentality of like a parent and a child. Like, your child's always watching you. They're picking up your mannerisms, they're picking up what you're saying, how you interact with people, how you carry yourself. So I think of it in the same sense of like, you got to be the example of what you want everybody, because when you don't think people are watching you, they are watching you. And so just truly being that example, being somebody that's reliable, trustworthy. And one thing that I always strive to be specifically for my team is I always want them to feel like I have their back, that I'm somebody that will go to battle for them, and give them the support that they need to be successful.
Can you share about a time when you realized that your way of leading or living no longer met the demands of your work and life and growth was needed?
I think yes, as far as like work and life, I had my kids younger in my career. And so at the same time, that's when I was really trying to grow and develop, in my profession. Um, it got to a point where I kind of had to take a step back and balance out more of like what are more important to me, like my family and my kids, and being more present for them versus trying to chase this career, like chase a leadership or position that was taking me more away from being present with my kids. And so that was a big learning lesson for me. And I think it made me a stronger leader for what I am today.
Got it. And what did you have to outgrow or let go of in order to grow beyond it?
I had to let go of wanting it right now, like being more patient with the process, and that it will come when the timing's right, and not having to have it right this second.
And I'm curious, what impact has that had? This whole kind of, understanding of patience in a different way or hitting the pause button in a different way. What impact have these experiences have had on you and how you lead today?
Well, I think it makes me a more patient leader, with people, like even on my team, like, having understanding that there's other factors in place for them. This isn't their only thing in their life. Like work is not their only thing in their life. They have families, they have outside, factors and things like that. So just being more empathetic to my team and what they're experiencing, as well as like even really building that patience for like myself as like projects or initiatives that like, okay, I understand like this needs to be done, but we need to figure out it can't all be done at once, right? Like we have to take steps and chunks at it and then build it, which impacts like the change management component, like not trying to shove things down people's throats. Like this needs to be done now. It's more of like an ease into it approach to get the buy-in.
Thinking about your journey over the past few years, what's been the most valuable investment that you've made in yourself for your own growth?
I think it's definitely taking the opportunities to attend more like conferences and training events that give me that additional insight to like industry specifics or even more leadership training. I've, started to attend more leadership workshops to kind of just continuously to enhance my leadership skills, but then also be able to take back what I'm learning to my leaders on my team.
Got it. And attending these workshops and kind of disseminating the information or sharing the information when you come back, I'm just curious, what difference has that made in your leadership and in your life?
In my leadership, it's made me, I think, a more well-rounded leader. I acknowledge I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. And so I think to be an effective leader, you have to be willing to continuously evolve and grow. And having that same mentality for my leaders as well too. And that's my mentality of like passing on what I'm learning to them to help them grow and develop, and like here's what I'm learning, here's what I'm seeing. Sharing the information I think is vital.
What's your vision for your leadership, your legacy, or the impact that you want to have in the years ahead?
I want to be known as a leader that in turn influence somebody's their own leadership style. Like I want to be remembered of, she was a great leader and that's who I want to be like. I want to grow up and be like her in a sense. I want to be that role model for somebody and leave a lasting impression that I made an impact on them.
Yeah. And what are the ways that you feel you need to grow personally? Where's your from a growing edge perspective, where do you feel you need to invest to realize that vision?
That's a good question. I think it's just to continue to grow as a leader. I mean, continue to invest in training and increasing my knowledge um and continuing to be a mentor to, like I said, not just the leaders on my team, but everybody on my team. Again, it's that whole mentality of when you think people aren't watching you, they are. Like, just, that always keep thinking people are watching you and act like they are, so that you keep that, that style and the way that you conduct yourself.
Yeah. And I'm just going to build on this a little bit more. So, the path to leadership is determined by where and how we meet our growing edge, right? So where do you feel most tested right now? What challenges are stretching you the most in leadership or in life?
I think right now testing me is just leadership wise. I think it's the current industry that I'm in. It's a rapidly growing, booming industry. And in the role, of being the leader over the talent acquisition team, it's a struggle to find candidates, and the increasing need to think outside of the box and get creative, also while trying to maintain my team's morale. They feel like they are hitting, stuck against a wall because they're getting bombarded with open headcount needs, and they just can't get the people in. And so it's trying to be mindful of not only how do I meet the company, the organizational needs, but how do I also make sure to keep my own team's needs in mind of, having the mental check-ins with them, and, how are you doing? What do you need? Do you need, a day to just kind of decompress and take a step away, and making sure that they feel like they are in an environment where they are safe to do that, like where they can say, hey, I'm blocking out an hour on my calendar. I just need to step away and clear my head, take a walk or something like that.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing is, there are a lot of things that you want to do to sort of build yourself as a leader, also improve the environment, create that kind of a caring culture, right? And I'm curious, what are the ways that you feel you most need to grow and develop to meet those demands or those responsibilities?
I think it's being stronger in my voice, in my communication, trying to make my voice more impactful on what needs to happen and the whys it needs to happen, and things like that. I think that's probably like the biggest way, is just really improving the communication and the impact of my communication.
And so this is our last question, and it's more of an invitation. You have this time and space to share, straight from the heart, whatever it is that you'd like to offer to our listeners. The floor is yours. Take it over.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that, and I even stress this to my managers that report to me, is being a manager over a team, you have to also accept the fact that you are not going to have all the answers, right? And it's okay to acknowledge, I don't know the answer to that. And also acknowledge that there may be somebody that reports to you that knows it. They may have the answers. I always say, hire people on your team that are smarter than you. It makes you a better, leader, because you're getting different ideas and skills and education that you're not aware of. And right. And you can't grow if you don't know. We got to be open to learning. And so, always being willing to hear everybody's ideas and acknowledge that you don't always have to have them, or you don't always have to have the best idea in the room.
Brittney, I appreciate the wisdom that you shared with us today. I've gotten a lot out of this conversation, and I'm sure our listeners will as well. Thank you so much for being on the True Leadership Podcast.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
That's it for this episode of the True Leadership Podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by One Mountain Leadership, where we help leaders grow the capacity, confidence, and presence of true leadership through the True Leadership approach. To learn more about the approach, our offerings, our community, and how we can help you realize your potential in both leadership and in life, visit us at onemountainleadership.com.